Hey everyone, I'm Hannah and welcome to the Geospatial Marketing Academy. Today, we're going to focus on how to create a content marketing strategy that creates demand. But to get started, I will just tell you a little bit about myself. So as I said, my name is Hannah Cottrell. I have 10 years of marketing experience. My first marketing job, and actually my first job in surveying, was given to me by our founder, Elaine Bull, when she ran her company Measurement Devices Limited back in 2011. So Elaine got me into the industry. Is one of the many reasons I love it is our years of learning about content, about strategy, and how we can use strategic content marketing to help support the sales process. Most recently, I specialize in content writing for the forensic division of Leica Geosystems UK and Ireland. So as you can tell, I love marketing. I love everything to do with creative content writing. And hopefully at the end of this workshop, you will feel the same also. So a little outline as to what we are going to learn today. We're going to learn what content marketing is, reasons to use content marketing, how to identify who you are talking to, how to talk to them, and how to build a communications plan that will deliver regular, consistent, and quality content to that target audience. The objective at the end of all of this is to enable you to have all the tools you need to establish a clear picture of who you're targeting and how you can speak clearly with that audience so that they will listen. At the end of the class, there will also be a short introduction to the Geospatial Marketing Academy for those of you who want to learn more, as well as an outline of special offers we have for you and a question and answer session. So if you have any questions throughout this workshop, please make a note of them and we will be very happy to answer them at the end. So I'm going to start off by a rather bold statement. Your customers are not interested in you. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just true. At the end of the day, our customers are most interested in how we can help them. Every one of us wakes up every day with a problem that we need to solve. And in the day-to-day buzz that we all see every day on social media, the one thing that is going to grab our attention is going to be companies that release content that addresses those needs, that addresses those pain points. So we're going to come back to this more in the workshop, but I would like you to just bear this in mind as we go forward. So we'll start at the beginning with what is content marketing? So I've got a good quotation from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, which states that content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately drive profitable customer action. So there's a few things in there I just wanted to highlight for you guys, which is strategic marketing approach. All the content is not just noise. There is a reason for everything that you put out into the universe. And in addition, clearly defined audiences. There's no point creating great content that is talking to the wrong person. It's very important they go hand in hand. So remember, don't just sell your product and or service. Present a longer term message that speaks to your end user, to your buyer persona. So here's a little overview for you guys as to why you should use content marketing. If you're discussing this with your team, it's really good for them to understand why you're doing this. Content marketing boosts brand loyalty. It gets people following you. It gets them engaging with you. If they like what you're posting, they will appreciate that content and they will see your brand time and time again. It helps to attract prospects and current customers. Prospects might learn more about your brand, might see information about you for the first time. And customers, you're keeping them engaged. You're keeping on the pulse, keeping contact with them, which helps with longevity, with repeat business. And hopefully with making customers ultimately end up being your brand ambassadors and helping sell your business for you. Education is also a very important part of content marketing. Teaching customers and prospects about how you can make their day better, how you can solve their problems. It's also really good for search engine optimization to help you get boosted on search engines such as Google or Bing. Great content with good keywords injected into it can really help you come up above your competition when people are searching on the web. There's also increased social engagement. So great content marketing helps engage people in the post. So they're clicking on it, they're commenting on it, they're tagging people, discussions start. When this happens, more and more people start to see your content. People who are related to the people that are engaging with the content might start to see your brand who otherwise may not have seen it. So increasing social engagement through real quality content is extremely valuable. Building the community is also a really strong way to engage with your customers and prospects through content marketing, getting them talking to each other, starting a conversation, building that sense of belonging to your brand. And in addition, cost savings. A lot of people spend a ton of money on marketing, but at the end of the day, if they're talking to the wrong person or they're just creating noise and the content they're publishing isn't useful to the end user, you can spend a fortune but actually get nothing from it. By doing a targeted content marketing strategy, you are not only investing your money wisely, but you are spending it where it can get you the most return. So, knowing where to begin. This can be very intimidating when you sit down and you look at your white piece of paper and you think, okay, great. Hannah told me I have to go and make a content marketing plan, but where do I start? It really doesn't have to be intimidating. So we'll take a look at it. Step 1, identify who it is that you want to talk to, your target audience. We call these, what we like to do is make a target audience into a buyer persona. And the buyer persona is a bit like a character so that you can really visualize that person that you're talking to. Buyer personas provide a solid data-driven foundation for your sales. And ultimately, that data-driven foundation creates your marketing communication strategy to support the sales process. The buyer personas help you decide what tone of voice to use. So does it need to be incredibly formal? Is your buyer persona a very corporate person? Is it all about formality? Or are they casual? Would they dress scruffy? Would they wear a tie? That would all change the tone of voice that you use when you're writing your content. It's also dependent on the type of content that you post, whether it's business related, for example, or aspirational, or rough and rugged and in the field. And it also helps you decide where you would post it. Is your buyer persona on LinkedIn? Are they mainly on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook? These are all things that buyer personas help you whittle down to decide how and where you're going to talk to them. So we know we want to create a buyer persona. We want to know who we're talking to. How do you create one? Well, here's a few key things to consider. Research your target audience. Hone in on common traits that might tie them together so that you can start grouping them, because you can have a few buyer personas. There's no rule to say you have to have one, you can have two, you can have 8. I would advise you not to have too many of them because it can get too complicated to try and keep up with all the people that you're talking to. But by honing in on common traits, you can group your target audiences into these buyer persona characters. Give your buyer personas a profile to make them almost like a fictional character, somebody you can actually picture walking down the street. So we'll just do an example together so you can see some of the details that we look at in a buyer persona. This will be a smaller example, and just remember you can put as much detail behind your buyer persona as you like. So as you can see here, we have our engineer, and you can see some of the detail here that we would consider. So their job type, we have an engineer. The age range is 35 to 80. Gender, so male and female, but we've also broken that down by ratio. So we have a 70 to 30 male to female likelihood that for this buyer persona. Their job description, so managing project costs and schedules, preparing designs, and coordinating design contractors. Now, one of the most important things we have on here, and something that if nothing else you have for your buyer persona, I suggest that you absolutely need, is the pain points. So for our engineer here, for example, the poor guy he worries about bad survey data, about bad utility information, trusting the people that he's working with, keeping his project on time, and having unresponsive people on his project. So already by knowing these pain points, we can think to ourselves, well, how can I write content that will ease those pain points for him, that will really speak to him to make his day better? And this is something that we will come back to more later on in this workshop. Again, this is just some of the basic information that you would put behind a buyer persona. To find out more of the nitty-gritty detail behind buyer personas and how to put them together, check out some of our information in the GMA course lessons. So, how do you speak to your buyer personas? So this is when I am going to start talking to you guys about story branding. And if you haven't heard of it before, I very much suggest you get the book StoryBrand. It's absolutely fantastic for anyone doing content marketing, and it really helps you get a clear picture of how to write engaging content. Now remember, our focus is to break through the noise, eliminate confusion, and connect with our customers. Most importantly, what I have emboldened there clearly. So we will identify the pain points and we will work to solve the problems. But the next question is, how do you do that? Well, this is where I introduce the StoryBrand brand script. Brand scripts help you establish customer pain points. Once you've established them, it helps you to empathize with them and then place yourself as a guide to help your customers overcome their problems. And then it helps you position yourself where you can write content that creates some authority behind you saying, hey, I can help you solve your problem. I can help ensure that you don't have any accidental utility strikes. I can take the pressure off your project. I can ensure that your project remains on time, within budget. And then ultimately giving them that call to action. And calls to action are very, very important for any content that you write, because there always has to be a purpose to it. Where are you sending them to? What do you want them to do when they read the content? And I will come back to that again shortly. So here we have an example of a StoryBrand brand script. And this is the GMA content marketing workshop version. So this is a demo version for you. At the end of the session, I will be giving you a link to this so that you can go in and see it for yourself. The brand scripts are free at mystorybrand.com, a link that we will send you at the end of the workshop. So you can create your own for free with your team. And here you can see just a brief outline of what we have done. I will tell you, it takes some thinking these, so you want to give it some time. And I do recommend that you assign it to key members of your team, do it individually, and then have a team meeting where you all put your ideas together and you come up with one final brand script. Because it can be quite fascinating to see the different answers that people put down when they are not influenced by someone else. And the beauty of the brand script is it takes your buyer persona and it makes you actively think about what problems they have, how you can position yourself, your company as a guide, how you can give them a plan for solving their problems by using you and your business, and it gives them a call to action. And it makes you really think about how your customers, before they meet you and how they are after they meet you, and how much you can improve their day. So as you see there, it works from the top left to the bottom right, and we have the character and what they want, what they're looking for. And then we go into what their problems are. And that's usually a villain, an external influence, an internal influence, and a philosophical influence. From there, they meet the guide, which is us, which is you, and how we would show authority. So it gets you to start thinking, oh, do I have a case study? Do I have testimonials? Do I have some statistic that I can back up to say, hey, anyone who's ever worked with me has never had an issue with a utility strike? Something like that. Maybe a customer video like this saying a great experience with their project. Then we go into how we would give them a plan. So they get in touch through social media or through the website. They have a conversation with an expert. They discuss a bespoke solution, and then they go through to a purchase, something like that. And then we have calls to action, which can be direct and transitional. So direct is exactly what it says on the tin. Get in touch, make an inquiry, phone an expert. And transitional might be a bit softer approach. So maybe you have a blog and it says read more, learn more, ask a question. So it's a bit of an easier call to action. And at the end of the day, the brand script will take you through ends in success and what success would look like to your buyer persona. The project is on time. There are no utility strikes. The data is really high quality and reliable, whatever that might be. And ideally, each of those end success points are solutions to the problem that your character started out with. As I said, you'll be able to see this up close, so you can read all of these yourself, and you can also go through it with your team and create your own. I really do recommend, once you have your buyer personas, that you run your buyer personas through a brand script. It is extremely valuable. So just a little recap on StoryBrand brand scripting. Remember, your customer is the hero of your story, not you or your brand. Establish that pain point, the pain points that are ruining their day. Empathize with them. Show authority for how you can help them. Build trust. Guide them as to how they can overcome these pain points, and give them a very clear call to action, otherwise known as the CTA. So we have created our buyer persona, and we have gone through the brand script. So we now really understand where we fit, how we are going to talk to them. Now we need to create a content plan. So here we're going to discuss how often to post, which platforms you should post on, how to create a content planner, and we're going to discuss scheduling and analyzing, although the details of scheduling and analyzing we go into in more detail in the GMA lessons. Top tip for you guys as well, really consider what platforms you're going to be on. You don't have to be on all social media platforms. For example, a lot of surveyors are on LinkedIn and actually Instagram. But surveyors' customers might just be on LinkedIn, for example. And I can't tell you a golden rule because everybody is different. All I would say is make sure that you do some research to work out what platform your target audience is on, what platform your buyer personas are on, so that you can be on them too, so that you can start engaging with them on the right platform. So how often should you post? Well, how often can you consistently post quality content would be the way that I start with that. Again, there is no golden rule, but I do have a rule of use it or lose it. Gone are the days of having old social media accounts that were posted to 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and they're seemingly random ad hoc posting. The key is post consistently and post only quality content. So Twitter, for example, it's good to establish that each platform, it's kind of a unwritten rule that you can post more or less to certain platforms than others. For example, Twitter can be daily. In fact, it could probably be like multi-hour, dual hour posts, if that makes any sense. So on Twitter, people who do events, they're posting all the time. Come and see us on stage, such and such. Speaker going on in 5 minutes. The speaker is now live. So that's more like your punchy updates, regular posts. Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, usually 2 to 3 times a week, maybe Instagram a little bit more. And Pinterest, for those of you who use it, could be daily as well. I don't actually use Pinterest for any of our current clients because it doesn't quite suit their buyer persona. But I thought I would put that in there for anybody who does. So where are you going to post? So obviously, I can't tell you exactly where to post because that will depend on your buyer persona, but I can give you some advice on what each platform is used for. So again, Twitter is those short, newsy, punchy updates. It has a character restriction, so you cannot write too much content. So anyone who's looking to do regular posts, live buzzing from the field, at events, this is really your platform. Facebook is one of our older social media platforms. Most people are on it. It's more of a casual platform for community building, friends, family, probably more of a casual tone. LinkedIn is very much corporate and business related content. Instagram is usually very aspirational. It has stunning imagery, give us a heart or a high five or hands, or lots of emojis going on and lots of hashtags. And Pinterest is more like trending topics of interest. So I don't know if anyone on this workshop today has heard of Airtable, but you're about to hear me talk about it a lot. So this is the stage where we start thinking, okay, we want to plan our content. Now, you're welcome to plan content any way that suits you, because let's face it, you have to like whatever system you're using. I use Airtable, which is basically like Excel on overdrive. So you can see here an example of the Geospatial Marketing Academy demo planner. This is our content marketing planner that we will give you a link to at the end of this workshop, so you can actually see it for yourself. And if you want to create your own Airtable afterwards, you're very welcome to just replicate this so that you have something to start with. You'll see in here we have a content pillar. So this says the type of content that we want to post on each day. The status, whether it's scheduled, whether it's approved, it needs amends, it's being drafted. The date that we plan to publish it. So that's really important. You might say now, okay, I'm going to look out to next month and I'm going to do 2 or maybe 3 posts per week. So you put in the days you're going to post them, and then the copy for each social media channel. Now, it's important to remember, you must customize your content for each social media channel that you're on. So Twitter, for example, very short copy, short and punchy. So that first line needs to be really, really engaging. Instagram will have, ideally you max out your 30 hashtags. Instagram has a 30 hashtag limit, where if you use as many hashtags as possible, it usually really helps with your engagement. LinkedIn might have a more corporate tone of voice, so you don't just regurgitate the same content on each channel. Even if it's the same topic, just be mindful to write it slightly differently so that it suits each channel. We also have here the image or video that will be posted with each post, the URL, who it's assigned to. So as you can see, Elaine is working on that top one. I'm working on the bottom 2, and then Janelle. And we also list all the hashtags that we're using. So as a team, we can all look at this and get an instant snapshot as to what content is scheduled, what content is in progress, and what's coming up. And equally, if something comes along, we can move things out and move things in as we want to. Here's a top tip for you. With Airtable, instead of going into each individual cell to try and review content, which takes absolutely ages and you can get lost very easily, if you go to the left-hand column under Content Pillar and you hover, you'll see a double-sided arrow or a number if there's comments in that box. If you click on it, it will expand the record into a lightbox. So in this lightbox, you will see everything planned for that day in one place. So you'll see the LinkedIn, in this case, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, and we also have the Twitter. This is actually for a customer of ours called Topidop. And on the right-hand side, what's also very useful is you can see edits that team members have made to the content. You can also tag people in by going at Elaine Ball, at Hannah Cottrell, and then typing what you want to say. And then they get an email so you can quickly check whatever it is they've asked you to do. Just a handy tip if any of you do decide to use Airtable. So just to summarize with the content planner, it's a really good idea to map out 2 weeks or a month in advance so that you have that regular, consistent quality content. If you've planned it in advance, you know it's going to go out and you don't need to worry about big gaps in your content. Align your content with sales goals so that it is useful content for growing your business. Ensure the content speaks to your buyer persona, answers those pain points, those questions that they have. Select your imagery wisely. And we have another top tip for you. This link will also be coming to you at the end of the workshop. So don't worry about writing it down, but we're a big fan of Canva. Canva.com is really easy to use for image creation. Basically, using Canva, we can all have beautiful social media channels. It's a great way to resize images and create stunning social media graphics at the click of a button. Take a look at it at the end of the workshop, click on the link and see what you think. It also is really good with your content plan to assign collaborators. Who's writing the content? Who is approving the content? Get people to take ownership for it so that it gets done. Ensure your content pillars are varied, so the content is always changing, it's always engaging, it keeps the interest of your customer, whether it's a testimonial and then a piece about the team or a case study or a product feature or an event. Shake it up a little bit. And then, customize to your social media channels. Don't have the same content on every social channel written in the same way. For example, Instagram using 30 maximum hashtags versus Twitter having a character limit. Make sure it fits for each channel. And of course, use it or lose it. So at the beginning of this workshop, we had a number of questions which we will just recap on now. How often do you post? So my advice would be 2 to 3 times per week. Which platforms will you post on? Well, define where your audience hangs out and make sure that you are buzzing on those channels as well. How do you create a content planner? Use a StoryBrand brand script to plot out the user journey and their pain points and establish where you fit in solving your customers' problems. Use that to create engaging content and use Excel or Airtable or whatever content planning process that you want to map out 2 weeks to a month ahead the content that you want to be posting so that you keep regular, quality, consistent content. Then after that, you want to look at scheduling and analyzing your content. By scheduling content, you avoid forgetting to post. You avoid the issue of becoming busy with your day and then realizing that a post hasn't gone out and having random gaps. So scheduling is really great idea, as is analyzing the content month on month to see what's working and what isn't. Remember, analyzing your content is not it's not a bad thing. If you look back over a month and see content that isn't working, that's actually really useful because you know not to use it anymore and to do more of the stuff that is working. For detailed information on how to schedule and analyze the success of your content, head over to the Geospatial Marketing Academy lessons where we go into it in a lot more detail. So we have a little homework for you guys. Here we have an assessment to see where you're at with your content marketing. So ideally, in a perfect world, you would be all green on the right-hand side. On the left, we've got best practices for content marketing. And this is something that is taken out of the Geospatial Marketing Academy lessons. Do you document your content strategy? Is someone managing the content? Does the content map the buyer journey? Are you publishing quality content on a regular basis? Is it varied? Is it engaging? So these are all questions to go through with either yourself or your team and just tick the boxes to see how far to the left or right you are, because that will give you a good idea of where you need to improve. So for more homework we have here, my suggestion would be to head over to mystorybrand.com, a link that you will get at the end of this workshop, and start doing your brand scripts for your own buyer personas. Populate the template for each of them so that you can see how to speak with them clearly. Once you've done that, I would suggest you create the first 2 weeks of your content plan. Keep it simple. 2 or 3 posts per week. You can go and use our Airtable that we're going to provide you with, or a Word document or your Excel document, whatever you're comfortable with. The next thing we're going to do is talk about the Geospatial Marketing Academy. For those of you who would like to really deep dive into some of the topics that we have been discussing in the workshop today, all of our lessons in the Geospatial Marketing Academy break it down even more. What's included in the Geospatial Marketing Academy is unlimited access to courses for 12 months, live sessions with our founder, Elaine Ball, and those are on a monthly basis, step-by-step guides for achieving sales and growth, multiple downloads and case studies, and there's new ones going up all the time, so I can't even list them for you because there's so many. And getting 5 free lessons from the great team at Exposure Ninja. That's usually a package worth $1,000, as well as 3 free lessons on value-added sales. So we have a little introduction from Elaine, who is going to talk to you a little bit about what Geospatial Marketing Academy involves.
Say goodbye to poor marketing plans, rubbish product launches, and crappy leads, and hello to hot customers. Introducing the Geospatial Marketing Academy, brought to you by me, Elaine Ball, backed by over 100 years of B2B geospatial marketing experience. And no, I'm not 100 years old. So let's dive on in to this self-study portal. Get your marketing mindset locked tight. Here we go. GMA is a self-study, step-by-step learning platform that addresses the full marketing subject. Why strategy is important to understand for a winning marketing plan, how to reduce price wars and build your brand into its own. Learn the step-by-step methods of how to understand your perfect client. Understand what management want to see, as well as what you need to do to get results. Build confidence in your marketing through easy-to-understand lessons and step-by-step templates that you can easily download. Work at your own pace, take away the pressure, and implement as you go. Join other GMAers in the private Facebook group and share experiences. Ask questions to the expert panel of geospatial marketing instructors. Take part in the monthly live Q&As or just sit back and take it all in. GMA caters for all of you. Download templates done for you and resources for every step of the marketing subject. Launch products with ease and clarity. So, what is it? What does it include? And how much will it cost? The all-new Global Geospatial Marketing Academy brings experts and experience together with step-by-step guides to achieving success and growth. 12 months of course content to take you from bumbling your way through marketing to a focused, client-driven marketing approach that gets you results through 50 plus targeted lessons. Plus, and for those signing up to GMA 1.0, you will also receive the following bonus materials. 5 free bonus lessons from best-selling author and search engine optimization expert Tim Kitchen of Exposure Ninja, worth over $1,000. 3 free bonus lessons on the value-added sale from best-selling sales author Paul Riley, worth over $1,500. And 5-day LinkedIn launch package by geospatial marketeer Charlie Wyman, worth over $650. So, who is it for? Anyone from survey companies doing the survey to geospatial technology firms such as manufacturers, software houses, and dealers. This includes owners who do their own marketing and need a tried and tested methodology, sales managers who want to use marketing to boost their sales leads and get more rounded approach to how they can do this, and of course the marketing managers themselves or content creators who are looking for the right tools and accelerated routes to market. So for $3,995 US, say goodbye to everything you think you know about marketing being exhausting and overwhelming, and sign up to GMA today, a burnout-free zone. Say goodbye.
So that is Elaine's introduction, and for anyone who would like to know more, the Geospatial Marketing Academy can be found here at geospatialmarketingacademy.com. And for anyone who still needs to sign up, if you would like to sign up, feel free to use the code Hannah, all in lowercase, and then they will know that you came through this content marketing workshop. We are going to move over now to any questions with our Q&A session. So if you've been writing down anything as we've been going along and you would like to pick our brain, now is the time.